Poisonrana.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Poisonrana Live, an impromptu Poisonrana Live here Thursday, September 18th, 2:30. We don't usually do this, but we're here today for you, for the people, for the frogs out there. So hello if you are listening or watching in Spotify, Apple, or of course, our YouTube.
Absolutely. Our youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I know we've been away. We have been reunited more than once in the past few days. It's been a whirlwind for me, especially. But then Davie and I have also been doing a side job yesterday, today, and all over. We're all over the place, all across Canada, with things, and across the world. But we thought today we could squeeze in an hour to maybe do some catching up here in the world of wrestling and the graps, because this weekend here in our city, Toronto, AEW is taking over and we're going all out. And we're going to talk about a little preview for this show for All Out Toronto this Saturday. Plus, we're going to preview Wrestlepalooza. We're going to chat about everything else going on in the world of wrestling. So even funnier is I left my microphone at your house last night.
I think it's understandable. I think it is admirable that we were able to do a show at all yesterday. We did do a show, BDE Reunited, Braden's trip to Japan, on our Patreon for all our Patreon members yesterday. You can go and enjoy that. It's you hear all about Braden's trip, his adventures, a little bit about this new gig we've got going on, some thoughts about the weekend, that kind of stuff. Check.
Oh, I can't hear you now.
My back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world does not want this show to happen.
How much did you hear from me then? Nothing?
I heard you say that we did a show on Patreon, I think is what I heard.
Yes. Yeah. So I think it was admirable that we were able to do that at all, seeing that you had just come back from Japan. You spent, like 3 hours at home before you had to have a couple of hours sleep and then fly out to Ottawa. We met up in Ottawa. We recorded Up Next in a hotel room. It felt like the old days, very intimate setting, just recording, no video. We then went out because I needed to eat because I hadn't eaten all day, grabbed some food, grabbed a beer, talked about the days to come and just talk through this little job we've got going on, did the show, and then we're like, right, we've got a couple of hours before our flight, so let's get some lunch. And they had a little deal on pitchers of cider, so we split a pitcher and
it was all downhill from there.
Had some of the good stuff, and then we get to the airport, we're like, we got half an hour to kill, we could have another beer. So we did that, and then it's flying porter, and just it's in the name. You're going to get quality when you've got porter attached to it. So had a nice free glass of wine on the flight, and then landed in beautiful sunny September weather here in the 6 in Toronto, and got back, and then we were kind of pooped and had to get through this show. We pulled up our socks, we rolled up our sleeves. I thought we did a good job with the show. And then we crashed out whilst watching Dynamite. And therefore, I can forgive you in leaving the microphone here. I think it's understandable. I don't even know what time zone you must still be on right now.
Yeah, I don't know where I am, but I'm finally, hopefully I can unpack after doing this podcast today. I was working again this morning. So I've just been all over the place, as I know you're about to catch a flight for this job too. So we're all over the place, but the podcast never stop, and we appreciate all the listeners out there. So we thought, well, we have some time here today. But if you've never checked out our Patreon, please do. $5 a month gets you access to all the shows that we've done in the past. But you'll get access to the show we recorded where we caught up. I went a deep, thorough storytelling on my trip to Japan. So if you want to hear about all the chaotic things that I encountered, vending machines, scary Japanese dudes, Island Adventures, Universal, all that stuff. Mario World, I talk all about it. And we had a lot of fun, and it was cool to catch up with you and hang out. But then when we watched Dynamite, I was falling asleep. I was literally asleep when you're like, Braden, you need to go home. You need to get out of here. So I woke up for Beast Mortos, obviously, but I didn't finish Dynamite yet.
Braden, just double check you're not on your headphones, because whenever you move, I'm just getting crackling. So either check that you're on the Mac and not the headphone settings, or try and not move around so much. Try and leave your keyboard still, because a little bit of crunchy sounds.
I left your apartment, and
that sounds so much better. That sounds
the MacBook one. My apologies.
Yeah.
Sorry if this was unlistenable, but yeah, I realized I'd left my microphone at your house, so I'll have to come by and pick that up at the BDE Towers. But yes, it was fun catching up. We've been all over the place, but we will be live this Sunday at some point, 2, 3 maybe ish, to talk about everything that we go through this weekend with All Out happening here in Toronto, plus Wrestlepalooza, everything else. But if you're listening and you are going to All Out, if you're in the Toronto area or you're visiting, come hang out with us. Have some brunch with us at All Out, because that's what we'll be doing at Gabby's on King Street West, 11:30 to about 2 p.m. roughly, when everyone has to scoot on over to get to the venue for the 3 p.m.
I mean, we do have the tailgate show on. That's starting at 2. So I imagine, depends how interested you are. It is going to be a lot of wrestling. What time you're going to head off? I think we're going to be heading off about 1-ish, but obviously the bar's open all day. You can head off whenever you like, but we'd like to get things going as soon as possible. So our doors do open at 11:30. Just come with a bit of patience, as it's a lot of people ascending on Gabby's, descending, whatever the word is, at the same time. But it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be able to hang out with you all, sing some songs, have some of our drink specials, and it's going to be great.
Absolutely. Always looking forward to seeing the post-wrestling community, the Poisonrana community. Come have some shots. I know you're going to have your wrestling-themed, AEW-themed drink menu. So much more. You were previewing it a little bit on our show yesterday on the Patreon. So very excited about the things that you'll be serving up. And then, then we walk over. It's not too far from Scotiabank. And then we all watch the wrestling. And then, hey, if you're in Toronto area, we might be out later in the night, or who knows what, but or watching Wrestlepalooza or something if you're not wrestled out by that time. But
well, let's dive into it right away. We've got a preview show for both AEW All Out and Wrestlepalooza. And starting with All Out, we mentioned they're doing this tailgate special, which is airing on TV. Instead of the usual kind of dark show, I believe their YouTube and stuff are just going to have the normal panel stuff, along with video packages hyping up the matches. But on, I think, TNT or TBS, they're doing this special like kickoff tailgate show with an 8-woman tornado tailgate brawl with Harley Cameron, Mina Shirakawa, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale taking on Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford, and Julia Hart, Sky Blue from the Triangle of Madness. Women have made a bit of a name for themselves now with these kind of crazy street fight brawls, stuff like that, especially being on the pre-show. I can imagine them having a bit of a chip on their shoulder. And I think if Tekla versus Queen Aminata from last night was anything to go by, this could be a pretty fun opener if you're in the arena at that time.
Absolutely. Like the women in AEW definitely been stepping it up in the last little while. And I look at the names, every character in this has been on a bit of a run lately. You know, I'm a big fan of Willow Nightingale, and I think the time will be hers very soon. Like I think in the next year or so, she should definitely be at the forefront of the women's division, because she is for me already. So this sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds messy. It sounds crazy because there's like 8 of them in this match, but I think we're in for a little bit of a treat with this one. Harley always making things funny and things interesting in there, and I don't know. I'm kind of thinking this could be pretty fun. I don't know if I'll make it to the venue in time. Hopefully we do, but this one I think could be a bit of a fun 8-woman tag scramble, tailgate brawl, whatever they're calling it. I'm definitely looking forward to that, and I think my girl Willow's gonna get the dub, hopefully, in this one. So, oh, I can't hear you again.
There we go. I don't know what's happened with my audio here. The world's against me. But I'm going to say the heels for this one. I think with Tekla being in the match later, that they might want to give the Triangle of Darkness. Is it the Triangle of Darkness? Triangle of Nonsense? I don't know. They're going to want to give them.
Wasn't there already a Triangle of Madness?
Death Triangle. Yeah,
Death
Tony
Triangle.
Khan likes Death Triangles.
He likes triangles and death.
Yeah, I can maybe see the heels winning this one to just give a bit of momentum for the Triangle of Madness going into that 4-way later in the night.
What else is on this kickoff?
We also have Daniel Garcia taking on Katsuyori Shibata, which sounds pretty tasty to me.
Wow. We've seen this match before, have we not, in AEW? I feel like we've seen them.
I believe so. I don't think we've seen it since the heel turn, but that should be good. Just a straight up, like, smacking each other, technical wrestling match. See how much Daniel Garcia's persona has changed since joining the Death Riders. And then rounding out the pre-show, we have The Ops, Samoa Joe, and Powerhouse Hobbs taking on the Workhorsemen in Anthony Henry and JD Drake.
Yeah, a cool little tailgate show here. You know, these are three essentially dynamite matchups here, but they sound pretty good for a tailgate. Garcia and Shibata, Garcia should beat him in, heel fashion. I think the heel turn is probably what's best for Garcia right now with that whole thing. But yeah, these two matches could be pretty fun. The Workhorsemen always put out some good content when they're in the ring too. So glad to see that they're kind of back together. You know, they did kind of tease that they were splitting up, but they work really well together. So why not bring them back? So I don't think they're winning though, but yeah.
No, but could be a fun match. I think both Henry and Drake are two people that, we've seen for years now at this point, back in like AEW Dark and stuff. And they always maximize their opportunities. I think they had some good stuff with FTR earlier in the year. And I think this could be fun for the pre-show. Mm-hmm. And then we get in the main show proper. Now, the first match listed on Wikipedia. I wonder where this one's going to slot on the show. But FTR taking on Cage and Cope.
CNC Music Factory. The CNC, the Cope and Cage is what they're going by. It looks like by the merch that was available in London, Ontario last night. But yes, CNC, Cope and Cage, or Cage and Cope, as Christian said in their promo. This is a big one for the city of Toronto. I mean, years of these two being in so many shows and matches in WWE and indie stuff before, but to have them wrestle last time against each other in Toronto was pretty magic and pretty fun. But now, first time teaming together in so long. I know they just did it for Bandura, but here in Toronto against FTR, one of the best tag teams going right now. This one writes itself. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And I don't know. I know WWE like to have the hometown heroes lose in their hometowns, but I kind of want FTR to win this one because then maybe you continue this feud a little bit more. But I don't know. Edge and Christian, Cope and Cage, I'm looking forward to just being there for this, the moment, right? Like just having them together again here is great. And I think I'm one of the people, one of the Torontonians who will be waiting for those with the benefit of
flash photography,
digital photography. Now, I guess it would be for the 5-second pose. I mean,
we can still put our flash on our phones.
Yes, exactly. So I am really looking forward to just that. So the 5-second pose.
I wonder if we're there yet, like character-wise, for them to be joking around as much of that. I'd love it if we got to see that live. Like huge amount of nostalgia with that stuff. But you wonder because they're not doing as rushed as this story has felt like in the last couple of months. Like we figured this would be the direction, and it felt like it was going at a snail's pace. And then in the last 4 weeks, we just hit the fast forward button on it. But character-wise, they're still not quite there. They're still not E and C, are they? Christian's still an asshole. He's still, but he's warming up. He's getting there. I think you do Cage and Cope winning this one, mainly because don't know how long either of these guys are going to be going at this point. They are, up there in age. They've both had multiple serious injuries throughout their career. And if you're just wanting to tick off a lot of dream matches, I don't think it's a wise idea to have these two tied up in long-term feuds with multiple matches. They made that mistake in WWE with Edge and Orton, which just, when you factor in the injury, it then went on for like way over a year. And it was just like, okay, can we get on? Same with the Judgment Day stuff. So I think you have Edge and Christian win this one. You think of where are we going to have Edge and Christian versus Young Bucks? What are the other matches we want to see? So I just think a clean win and maybe even a concerto to finish this job with FTR or Stokely to end things off.
The only way you get the 5-second pose is if they win the match. So I guess they do need to win to be, boys completely again and do the pose there. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. FTR have been great. Hopefully he's not too banged up. Was it Dax getting that bloody nose or mouth?
Yeah,
or something
nasty.
Dynamite. So that'll add some fuel to this match for sure. I'm looking forward to it. I like the stuff last night leading into it. And at some point, it's like, would this be the main event? Which I don't think it should be. I think Hangman World Title match should be the main event. But I know Toronto are buzzing. For the past few weeks, you talk to some wrestling fans in the city. People are pretty hyped to see these two guys, Christian and Cope and Cage, back in the forefront as a tag team. It's going to be a cool. I don't even think people are like, the expectations for the match are like, yeah, it should be good, but. I think just actually having this happen is enough for the city of Toronto to be like, whoa, this is cool. So
it's enough, but we also know how good FTR are on these big stages. So and Christian and Cope are still very much able to go. I don't think this should close the show. I think, if this was for the tag titles, that might be a different story. And I also think had Hangman of main evented last month, it could be a different story. But here, I don't necessarily think you open the show with it. I know you like to open the show hot. I could see this around the halfway mark or maybe like third from top. Like have this, then have the women's and the men's or something like that.
I want 5-second poses, kazoos, all the overly giant cowboy hats, whatever Edge and Christian used to do. Let's bring that back. I know they don't want to do they keep saying they don't want to do the greatest hits, but I'm like, man,
they should.
People, you close the show with your greatest hits.
Hurt Syndicate versus Ricochet and GOA.
Yeah, I didn't believe this was actually on the pay-per-view, and I'm not knocking any of the talent because, hey, Ricochet's been doing good thing. I'm not quite super behind him with the pairing of GOA, but it kind of feels weird to go in this direction. I know Ricochet cost them the title and all that, but it feels like this is a Dynamite match, and maybe doesn't necessarily. I think Shelton versus Ricochet on the pay-per-view would have been a bit more interesting than just this, what seems like a collision match here. I know I just said Dynamite, but it doesn't feel necessarily like a pay-per-view match for me.
Yeah.
The two guys aren't there yet, in my opinion, the GOA.
It's difficult. And I think it's really hard sometimes to change your perception of people. I think having these guys start off in Ring of Honor, and when there was so much Ring of Honor AEW crossover, and it was always these guys who showed up, and I didn't really know so much about them. And I feel they've been in that position for 3 years now, where I've kind of just written them off as, they're not bad, but I can't say they're particularly interesting. Mm-hmm. And then I found this whole Hurt Syndicate thing weird, the news cycle going into the last pay-per-view with the fact that they're very particular about who they want to lose to, and then them dropping the title in a match that didn't involve them in the finish, and then picking up this Ricochet thing again, where I think he's been doing good work, but the connection with GOA hasn't completely landed for me right now. This is definitely the least interest I have on this show.
100%.
Maybe they can surprise you.
Yeah, it's cool that MVP is wrestling. I think that's part of the draw too. But you could have just done MVP versus Ricochet, that would have stood out more. I don't like the connection of Ricochet and these two guys. It hasn't worked yet. I mean, there's time to turn this around, but I think he's been doing some great stuff. And the Hurt Syndicate seemed like one of the most popular acts in AEW, and yet this doesn't feel big. So I'm not quite sure. The stuff since the MJF stuff, it just feels weird.
I hate how cold they dropped that.
Yeah,
it was really weird.
They're over.
And we all thought it was leading to something, but I think a lot of it just adds to a lot of the speculation there was going around, right? It's you see it play out on TV when these angles are dropped cold and pairings all shifted around, and titles dropped without being pinned and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of strange.
So like maybe go towards pushing. Like, are they going to go for the trios titles? Are they going to go back for the tag titles again? Like, I'm not quite sure, but
like
either
trios
way,
could be good, right? Like the Ops versus the Hurt Syndicate sounds good. Or if you end up having someone else, if MVP doesn't want to wrestle so regularly, whether someone else eventually does join the group.
I also Ricochet's been so good since coming into AEW. Like, why add people with him? I know he's a heel and having muscle and all that, but I just feel like there's a bigger things to do with him as well. But yeah, this is the low point of the pay-per-view. For like, this match is like, okay, cool, but yeah.
Then we have Mercedes Moné defending the TBS championship against a returning Riho.
Yeah, I mean, a match that we didn't even expect because Riho being out and then just the surprise coming back here. But I think just announcing this and seeing the graphic, I'm like, yeah, this should actually be pretty good. Mercedes having one hell of a year this year, in my opinion, just really connecting finally. It took a little while. There's a few hiccups, but finding this belt collector, I don't know if it's for everyone, but I love her heel work right now. And the wrestling is what's really connecting. And she's proven that she's one of the greats going at this point. So Riho always has some fun matches in the history of AEW. So these two locking it up, I think we're in for something pretty fun. I obviously see Mercedes retaining in this, but I'm looking forward to a pretty fun TBS title match.
Yeah, I feel this match kind of sums up this show to me, where it's maybe a little underwhelming when you see it. Like Riho, okay, there is the history there. First AEW Women's Champion, but she's off TV so much of the time. Like, how many times have we seen Riho just return out of nowhere to get a title shot and then disappear as soon as that pay-per-view cycle's over? And I kind of see this being the same case here, but I always forget how good she is. And once she's in the ring, you go, oh yeah, she's great. And it's not often. Mercedes has a great viciousness about her when she wrestles, but she's also quite petite herself. So having her be like the dominant figure here and being able to bully Riho more size-wise, I think will be interesting. And I think the match could really deliver. I think Mercedes has now earned that spot where, she's got such a great hit rate and great track record now, unlike last year. So now you just throw the graphic up and you go, this should be really good. And I think this should be a good match. But I don't see any other outcome other than Mercedes winning.
I was away and I was detoxing from wrestling, and I was only catching up in this like last few hours with Dynamite last night and everything. And this pay-per-view does feel a little thrown together because we go to then Big Bill just being like, yo, Eddie Kingston, how about we have a match? And I'm like, what? Like, why would Eddie Kingston want to come out?
Can we just keep in the order of wiki just so I'm got my graphics queued up? But yeah,
I mean, no, I want to talk about Eddie Kingston so badly because I'm like, why is this thrown together so like out of nowhere? Like, if this dude coming back, like it does feel like that. This pay-per-view does feel like it was like, oh, okay, we're going with that. Oh, okay, wait, we're going with that. Oh, wait, that's what this does look at, like looking at this card. So Eddie Kingston gets taken out by Gabe Kidd, who has been on AEW TV multiple times since then. There's no whisper of that. It's just Big Bill being like, yo, I rep New York more than this guy, so I'm calling him out. I think it's a weird way to bring Eddie back. I think you could have had him come back at All In for an appearance that would have got this crazy reaction. But
it is weird.
Big Bill.
I do wonder with this though, especially the angle, like Eddie hasn't returned. It's just been all Big Bill on Collision, which obviously a lot of people don't see that. And then it's accepting it over Twitter, I think, or whatever it was. I wonder though with Eddie, whether this is kind of Tony Khan just protecting him a little on his return. We know mental health wise how Eddie Kingston can be, and also coming back from a serious injury. We don't know what condition he's going to be in. Now, maybe the temptation was for him to be one of those big returns at All In or since then. Maybe they're just like, let's ease Eddie back in. Let's see how he is here. Let's give him a big, easy win in front of people against Big Bill. and then we can see if he's ready for other stuff. That's the only thing, because I agree. Like, why else would you bring him in this way? But we've seen how Eddie can be. He's a hothead. He's very emotional. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and very open about depression and, you know, not being able to do what you love for the last 16 months. I'm sure his anxiety and stuff is through the roof right now. So it might be like, let's just put you in like just a little match, get you a win, and we can heat you back up.
Yeah, I'm very excited that he's back. Don't get that twisted, because I think he's an underrated character in the arc of AEW. Like, ever since day one, interrupting Cody, it was like, oh, if you didn't know who he was, you're like, who's this guy? But if you did, you're like, oh shit, Eddie Kingston's on. And he's like impressed every time he's on the screen. He's a like screen stealer. And I think having him come back, the crowds have been chanting his names in other situations and scenarios, expecting him to return, and that hasn't happened. And then it's just Big Cass calling him out. It's like, oh, that's why. So I expect Eddie Kingston, The World Is Hot, or whatever his theme song comes out, and just Hurricane, back fist, 1, 2, 3, just crush Big Bill. I'm sorry, Big Bill. You've been pretty fun too, but like, let's put if hopefully Eddie is back and ready to go like he was once before, because if he is, he could be another key player here, I think, for AEW. Like, again, the crowds really connect with him. So I'm excited to see him back, and I hopefully it all works out. But it's just odd that we're going to like, you can't deny it's weird that it's Big Bill versus Eddie Kingston, no matter which way they spin it, but I'm here for it, I guess.
Now, I wonder if they have any plans on using him in this next match, the coffin match between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. Could we maybe see like a post-match angle with Eddie and Mox?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't he be mad at like the Death Riders and the Young whoever took him out, like Gabe Kidd, etc.? But I guess that was New Japan lore and all that. But yeah, this match sounds awesome. This is definitely the match graphic I saw. I was like, okay, we knew, we were there at All In when Darby descended from the rafters like a maniac. And we thought, imagine Darby versus Mox. Imagine the crazy, sick and twisted shit that these two would do in a singles match. And here we are getting in a match where you have to put the opponent in a coffin. So yeah, take my money. I'm going to the show for this. This sells me. Everything else is perfect and great on Edge and Christian, cool. But like Mox and Darby in a coffin match, someone's going to do something fucking scary in this one. Someone's getting buried or live. I don't know what, but I'm in for it.
Who do we see winning this one?
I think Darby.
Like, Darby should eventually win the feud, but the fact it's a coffin match, it's not a pinfall thing, just makes it not feel like a big win to me. Yeah. Like, it doesn't feel like the blow off.
Right.
So
yeah, you could go back to this.
I wonder if you just kind of this match is the match that heats up the fact that Moxley always has Darby's number, and then we can have the singles blow off at one of the next pay-per-views.
If this feud continues, like, you're gonna have to go back to exploding barbed wire death matches for these two. Like, they're psychopaths. So like, what other stipulations could these guys do to literally kill each other in these matches? So I'm looking forward to this one. Moxley has had an interesting year. I know people, maybe it was off to a rough start, but when the year ends, I think people will be like, wow, you know what? He did some really good stuff as well. So I am looking forward to this match. I think Darby should win. I think we will continue the feud with another match, a series of something. I'm not quite sure, but I'm looking forward to the madness of a coffin match. You know, wrestling is silly. So when there's a coffin match, a casket match, whatever you want to call it, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, what do you explain the stipulation of this match to someone who doesn't watch wrestling? It sounds great. Yeah, they have to put him in a coffin. Yeah, I'm in. Where do I watch? How do I watch? I'm excited.
We also have a tables and tacks match between Mark Briscoe and MJF.
Yeah, tables and tacks. Have we had this stipulation
I don't
before?
think so. No.
Like, this is Mark Briscoe's own. This is it's a very Ring of Honor, a TNA style. Just, yeah, it's tables and tacks. Oh, okay. Fuck it. Definitely looking forward to this. MJF, I think, has just been killing it for me with the whole, I mean, we had the stuff with Mystico. It's still ongoing. This guy is going like ham in 2025 because he's doing the movies, he's doing wrestling, he's doing CMLL, he's doing all this stuff. And I'm thinking these two will have a great match. I know we've seen it obviously before. MJF pinning Mark in that All-In Battle Royal, the casino thing. So like I've been waiting for them to go back to this, and I think adding this stipulation. I know MJF is on this run, and he potentially could be someone who could be champion again, even this year. But I kind of want Mark Briscoe to win. I just don't know what that means if he does. I don't know where we go with this. But
Briscoe needs to win something.
Yeah.
Like he needs to win one of these big ones. And I think this MJF feud has gone on for a long time now at this point, where I think this is the one you can have Briscoe win. I don't think it particularly hurts MJF, really. I think he's still got the contract that he can cash in ahead of time when he wants to. Yeah, so right. But Tony changed the rules, so you need to have at least 1 week's notice. So it's not like the Money in the Bank. You have to say, I'm calling my shot for next week. So MJF still has that. I think he can take the loss at this point. And I think it's about time Briscoe wins one of these big matches.
Briscoe should win this, and then Briscoe should go on like, a TNT title or like something. Like Briscoe has gotten back up into people's favor. We love him. And he's been killing it. And I think this match is going to be a whole lot of fun. Underrated match on this pay-per-view. I think we'll be talking about after, being like, that was pretty good. But then, like I said, MJF's doing the CMLL stuff, filming different movies and this and that. Like, pretty cool, pretty crazy. But looking forward to it.
We've got the Women's World Championship 4-way match. Toni Storm defending against Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Tekla. Now, I see Toni retaining this one, but I can see a feud, like a one-on-one match with Tekla happening maybe at the next pay-per-view. And the segment on Dynamite yesterday, they kind of made Tekla look very strong. I like how Jamie yesterday brought up that, didn't say it in so many words, but basically brought up the fact, hey, like, you cheated to beat me for that championship twice, Yeah. So, and then I got injured and I haven't had a sniff of it ever since. So she's still not forgiving the old Toni Storm for that. For women, I think all at some point could be a women's champion, but I think I can't see Toni dropping it in a 4-way.
I completely agree. I don't think this would be the right way to have Toni lose it, considering some of the big matches that she's had this year. However, I'm just very excited as a wrestling fan. This match would be crazy with these four. And you said it, like, Tekla, ever since coming into AEW, is really impressed. Not just me, but I'm seeing a lot of praise for her, and rightfully so. She's been really great to watch. And I obviously love Statlander, shout out Aliens, and Jamie coming back still hasn't necessarily found her footing. So I'm okay with it being a 4-way. And I think it's going to be like nonstop go with all the different iterations that you can do within the 4 of them in this match. But Toni's definitely retaining. You said like all 4 of these people could be champion at any point. And I don't know who we drop that title to if we don't in a 4-way, but we will have to eventually with Toni. But why, when she's so hot right now? So keep it going with this character, but definitely looking forward to this match.
We have the AEW Unified Championship 3-way match. Kazuchika Okada defending against Konosuke Takeshita and Mascara Dorada.
I mean, okay, Okada Takeshita, that's been the match I've been prayer circling for months, ever since they announced All Out Toronto. And then the graphic pops up with Takeshita and Okada, and then a third person. I'm like, wait, why would we go that way? Well, they're doing the slow burn with Takeshita and the Don Callis family and this and that, and I totally understand that. But love me some big Kaz Okada, and I love my ace Takeshita. But now you're throwing in Grand Metalik, Mascara Dorada, who is fucking awesome. So you know what? Incoming banger right here on Saturday. This is going to be pretty mental. And then I think Okada retains by Rainmaker to Dorada, but then, hey, you didn't pin Takeshita, so therefore he's got a viable thing. And then the face turn needs to happen with Takeshita, where it's like completely like, nah, fuck Don Callis, essentially.
You know, I almost would prefer it if the finish is the classic heel one, where you have, Takeshita hits Raging Fire or the power drive knee, and then Okada just throws him out the ring and gets the pin.
Exactly,
himself.
True.
And therefore you build they did have that stare down yesterday on Dynamite. It definitely feels like we're ready to move Takeshita as a baby face, and I could see that being at one of the next couple of pay-per-views. But I don't see Okada dropping this title, but I think it's going to be a hell of a match.
I think this will be one of the best matches on the show. I love Dorada as well. Like he's someone we've loved since, WWE Performance. What is it? Cruiserweight Classic and all that stuff. But he had a hell of a performance with Beast Mortos on Dynamite. I almost wish it was a 4-way with Mortos in this as well to really like spice it. But this one should be absolutely crazy. Takeshita's my favorite guy going. I can't wait for the singles. I'm a little bummed it's not on this show, but you've added a luchador that I think is
hold it up to Full Gear, right? Well, let's have
Full Gear, please. Prayer Circle.
Yeah, slow burn it to November. There we are.
They're just going to do it at the next. Isn't there one in October? They're going to do it probably at that.
Is it
one,
Wrestle
right?
Dream next or something? I can't remember.
We've been in Japan at a bookstore. I found Takeshita's book, but it's in Japanese. So I bought it, and I'm going to try to use translator to read the whole thing.
Yeah, get those Google goggles or whatever they're called, that translate everything you're reading.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you've got the earbuds that can do live translation. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. So looking forward to reading that, but looking forward to that match.
We have Young Bucks versus Brodido versus Jet Speed versus Hechicero, and I believe Josh Alexander making his Scotiabank debut, maybe?
All right.
In
we got to praise our
four-way ladder match.
Buddy. Yeah, this looks crazy, dude. Like, all right, Brodido on fire with this tag run. That feels like it came out of nowhere, but no one's mad at it because they've become awesome. You got the Young Bucks with this great gimmick of, hey, we're broke, but then now we have some money, and that's been pretty great. I imagine they're going to go back to being broke. Jet Speed always stealing the show with always pretty crazy, and then you're adding Hechicero and Josh Alexander. This is going to be absolutely bonkers. These spots in this match are going to be out of this world for sure. But you said it, Josh Alexander, someone I've watched on the Toronto, Ontario independent scene for so many years, and I know he stepped away from wrestling, and then he wasn't sure if he was ever going to do it, and then injuries, and it's so special. Like, we've watched this guy so many times in the Toronto area, and to see him come out, I'm sure it's going to be a big emotional night for him, but the crowd will be there in support of Josh Alexander for sure. But this match, I want Brodido to retain. I think Brodido is going to retain, but I don't even care. I just want all the chaos. I know we're sick of ladder matches, but look who's in this match.
Yeah, especially
okay.
seeing it live. I'm fine with having this here. Brodido retaining would be cool. Like, they've definitely got some momentum at the moment. Do we go to CNC versus Brodido down the line? It depends how soon they want to do that Young Bucks Edge and Christian match, because that is something that you could definitely put the titles on. But I don't see the Bucks winning it here. I think, especially with their story that now they're rich again, and kind of on Dynamite yesterday was there. It feels like, and I know I've shown you some episodes, the Young Bucks are playing Del Boy and Rodney in Only Fools and Horses right now. Yes. They've got all their get-rich-quick schemes. They eventually strike it rich, but something will happen to fuck it up. So I see them losing this match and then spending all their money in Toronto and being broke by either next Dynamite or the Dynamite after.
I'm loving this. I don't know if I'm alone. I just love it. Like, they're dorks, and I've always loved them as dorks. But the broke shit, and then now this. Oh, we have some money again. I don't know. I like it, but I'm expecting this 4-way ladder match to be crazy. We'll be definitely talking about some nutso spots that all these guys are crazy. So they're going to do something in this that it will get people talking. But very, very excited that this is added to the show.
We then have the main event, Hangman Adam Page versus Kyle Fletcher, with a couple of stipulations here where the Don Callis family are banned from ringside, but also if Kyle Fletcher loses the match, he has to vacate the TNT championship.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Fletcher has been someone since coming in has like gotten better and evolves and cuts his hair, and I don't know, just has become pretty much the full package. I think it was Full Gear last year with the Ospreay match that we were at. Like, that was the real turning the page moment. Like, oh, wait a second, who this guy, the tag team guy? Okay, well, hold on a second. And since a year removed, it's like he's a completely different person, and he's had one hell of a 2025. And I think for even multiple times on many different shows, me and you would be like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if he were to beat Hangman and then like Ospreay has to face him to get the title from him? And then they announced this match, and I'm like, whoa, I don't think they'd actually do that. And I don't think Fletcher's going to beat Hangman, but I'm really looking forward to this match. Like, if Hangman and Ospreay had one of the best matches this year for Hangman to then go on and to get the title opportunity, I think Fletcher's going to be like, hey, Will, you're on the bench. Watch this. So I'm thinking this is going to be one hell of a main event. And I've seen some criticism. People online, shout out Stevie Richards from ECW, who just hates on Kyle Fletcher for some reason. I keep seeing that clip for some reason. I think they're wrong. Sure, I don't think he's going to win this match just yet, but this guy will be world champion one day. It could be this year, it could be next year, but I just think he is becoming a complete package in wrestling. Like, he's jacked. You interviewed him at All In Weekend. He's on that chicken and rice diet. He's jacked. He's a good talker. He's got good suits, and he's one hell of a wrestler when that bell rings. And then he's facing Hangman, who's the fucking guy right now with AEW leading the charge. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this main event.
Yeah, I'd like to I do think Fletcher should be the champion going into All In. I just think Ospreay versus Fletcher All In just makes a lot of sense. But the way these, I think it's too early to put it on right now. I'd say it's too early in Hangman's reign to put it on him now.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with the points that he's not ready, because I think he's knocked out the park everything he's been given to do in the last couple of years. But I think they've done a good job with this story, with the whole "you're not ready" thing, to make me think that maybe we do get a bit of a surprise here. And I'm not totally against it. I think Hangman he's a foolproof character by this point. I think you can have cheating, whenever we see in wrestling, and there will be no Don Callis interference. We'll probably get some Don Callis interference. And I think the added point of having the TNT title, he has to drop it if he loses. He could drop it if he wins as well, and
well, wait, no, the stipulation is if someone does interfere, then you lose the title. Well, that kind of tips off, okay, well, wait a second. If someone interferes and helps him win this title, then he doesn't need that title anymore.
Yeah,
is exactly what the stipulation is. So I'm not saying it's not happening, but
I think there's a little bit of doubt in my mind, and I'd like to see them pull the trigger, to be honest. I'm a huge Hangman Page fan, but I like it when you just take a risk on a guy, and Kyle Fletcher's someone worth taking a risk on. And if you are gonna, we are out of Ospreay, Omega, Swerve right now. You need to make some guys, and maybe making this guy as a big heel champion for the next few months while these guys are out, it might work. We've got a lot of baby faces in AEW, but we don't have that many top heels. So maybe go with it.
What's the pay-per-view next? You said Wrestle Circus. No, Wrestle Dream?
Is it Wrestle Dream?
I think so.
I might be wrong.
And what if it's Hangman versus who? What if Kyle wins? It's Kyle versus who? I just don't know if Hangman's reign should end. It still feels like he just won it, I feel like it shouldn't end that early.
Yeah.
And as much as I do love Fletcher, I think he will be champion sooner rather than later. I just do not think it's the time right now. But that doesn't mean that he still could win it before Wembley to face Will Ospreay, because that's the match I kind of want. The story alone is some some deep storytelling there. If Ospreay can't even get the title before his prodigy here, imagine Fletcher gets the AEW title before Ospreay does. That's crazy. And then Ospreay's challenging him for it. So I do think that would be some great story there, but I don't want Hangman. Hangman's the guy, but I don't know who the next big bad for him to challenge would be. So I'm interested. This one has a few head scratching question marks, what could happen? And I like that in a title match, but really looking forward. I know these two are going to absolutely kill each other. So looking forward to this one for sure. Okay.
Well, I've got about 10 minutes before I need to scoot off to the airport, but let's quickly run through what we got going on at Wrestlepalooza, starting with Io Sky taking on Stephanie Vaquer for the vacant women's championship.
Wrestlepalooza. Yeah, I'm really looking. This is the match for me on this show. Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer, two fantastic wrestlers, the two best women in WWE right now, and Vicaire has just caught fire ever since being signed. And Io finally becoming like a megastar, proving to the world what we knew for years, that she's the best. And I think this match could be one of the best WWE matches of the year, hopefully. So out of everything on this pay-per-view, this is the only reason I'd actually tune in. Being completely dead honest with you, this is the only thing I actually truly care about watching from this show, and I cannot wait to watch this. This will be great. In fact, I hope they run it back a few times. I don't see Io losing, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think Vaquer is very popular, but I don't think it's right to put it on her yet. I think we'd want more of a chase from Vaquer, a bit more TV time going into that title hunt. And I think Io can win by assist from Kabuki Warriors, even though Io's not asking for that help. I see them maybe costing Vaquer the match, and that can spin off into loads of different matches as well.
Yeah, I know they're going to Japan in a little bit with some tour. Like obviously having Io as a big flag bearer there is great, but like Vaquer, you could just pull the trigger now. Like fuck it, she's already become like superstar status in such a short amount of time. But I don't know if it's that time just yet, because I know I love my Io. So Io Sky gets me high, and I think she's gonna win the title on this one. It's a vacant title, right?
It is, yeah. It's Naomi's title.
Right.
We also have the Usos reuniting to take on the Vision of the Bron Breed, Bron Breakker.
Yeah, I don't see the Vision.
Breed, Bronson Reed, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see the Vision. It's not working for me. The Seth stuff, it's been weird. So it's cool that Usos are back together and this and that, but this is a Raw match for me, and I don't even really like watching Raw. So I'm sure the Usos will win, right? Get them back together, put them back in the tag title picture or something, or this and that. But yeah, that's my review. I lost you again. Can't hear you.
I don't see the Usos winning this one at all. No, I think they've been playing up the tension.
Oh, I cannot hear you again.
I don't see Usos losing this, winning this thing. They've teased tension between the two. Jay's like leaning a little bit more heel, and I think, especially after the loss to Roman on the last pay-per-view, I think you want to keep the Bronze strong. So I see the Vision winning this match.
Then put them in the tag title picture, right? Like get him, Seth, and stuff. But they need to change. Like, I don't know. It's not the way we envisioned, pardon the pun, this Seth thing. It's like, okay, Seth's with Heyman. Okay, sick. Now Bron Breakker. Okay, sick. Bronson Reed. Okay, Tsunamis. All right. I don't know. It just still is. It isn't cool. It's not one of the like hot acts. It doesn't connect as much for me, but maybe that's just me.
We then have Tiffany Stratton defending the title against Nia Jax and Jade Cargill. I don't know with this one. I think just keep it on Tiffany at this point. You've been having the non-finish with Jade on SmackDown, with Nia inserting herself again. I don't think the women's title scene on SmackDown is nearly as interesting as the Raw scene at the moment.
Yeah. I see Tiffany retaining. I think we've done the Nia stuff, like beat it to death a little bit there. And I think there's more story if you have a big juicy feud that eventually someone just takes it. But I don't know, the triple threat and this and that. I'm not sold on Nia or Jade really, but I'd rather have Tiffany go on and continue. I think that's definitely what did. I didn't even know this match was on this pay-per-view, but Wikipedia doesn't say it is, so that's usually where I get my truth from.
It's on my Wikipedia right now. It's just been added, but
okay,
not a thing.
No, I just refreshed and it has been added. So in literally the last 20 minutes, they've added.
There's no match graphic I can find for it, but maybe
right. So maybe it is official, but yeah, cool.
We have Cody Rhodes defending the WWE Universal, whatever it's called, the Unified Champion, the big title, the Roman title, against Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, you know what? I think this could be good too. I think this is maybe a series, a feud here that we can get into. Drew coming off the big feud last year, like it was so good, and he was a big part of that. And I love Cody, so I'm really hoping we get some good stuff from these two. And I'm hoping I'm surprised at something we get from them, and then maybe go towards like more of a gimmick match. I see Cody retaining, Drew maybe getting his heat back with a beat down or something, taking Cody out for a little while and do some Street Fighter press or whatever. But I imagine we go to a rematch with like a stipulation down the line with these two. But I'm hoping this is good. I'm like, okay, this could be good. And I know Drew can step up when it comes to it. Obviously, Cody can as well, hot off the Cena SummerSlam match. So I'm hoping that this delivers in on this show. This could be one of the good ones on this one.
Yeah, I think it will. I think both guys are ones that normally take it a little bit above your usual kind of WWE restrictions. They're neither are afraid of like cutting the other guy open or potatoing the other guy. And I think that's what this match maybe needs a little bit of. It's similar to the Fletcher thing in a way where I kind of like to see them just surprise us and have Drew win. I think Drew's been putting on such great work the last couple of years, but is always losing the big one. He's always slotted in that just rung below the others. And I think his work is as good as some of the top guys in WWE right now. So I'd kind of like to see them do a bit of the surprise thing. I agree with you. I think we will get a series of matches coming out of this. So I'd kind of like to see Drew, but I see Cody retaining ultimately.
I don't see Drew. No, I don't see Drew taking it from Cody. Not here, not now, not ever. Maybe not ever. But it's Drew whenever podcast clip I keep seeing where he's like, look at all these other wrestlers, then look at me. Come on. Like, look at me. I should be the guy. And I'm like, man, you're not fucking wrong. You're fucking jacked, handsome. You talk a lot of shit. Like, you should be WWE champion again, hopefully down the lines. But I just don't think it's going to be from Cody Rhodes at Wrestlepalooza. But hopefully this match delivers.
We then have CM Punk and AJ Lee taking on Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. I've been enjoying this so far. I think they've done a really good job with AJ's return up to this point. I've been loving Becky's heel work in particular. And in general, I'm just really curious to see how AJ looks 10 years on. I see her being the one picking up the win to set up a intercontinental singles feud with Becky coming out of this. But this does have my interest.
Like, AJ has inspired so many people, and she's one of the big like woman stars from that era that, like, you know, that the first t-shirt and all that kind of stuff. Like, she is such an inspiration for a lot of people, and it's so cool that she's come back. And you know what? It's cool that we have two couples here fighting, like real life wrestling couples, and they managed to weave it into a storyline. So that is pretty interesting. I like hearing the theme song back as well. But there is some interest there because when AJ was here, she was in the gym shooting with Caitlyn and Eve Torres and the Divas and all that. And like now there's some real killers out here. So I'm interested to see this return of her, not only here with Becky, but like some other people, and see if like wrestling evolves every few years. And we've seen with other people who've come back and are like, oh, maybe I don't fit in as much as I once was. But I think AJ will fit in quite well. In fact, I think many years ago, she just didn't have the right dance partners. I know you just did your show. You just did a show with our boy B Detroit, best match ever, AJ Lee. And I was so happy you didn't ask me to do that show, because I could not name you one match that comes to mind outside of maybe that Caitlyn one, because she just didn't have the dance partners back then. So the intrigue now is like, whoa, yeah, all the dream matches and this and that. So I am looking forward to this match, and I think it's just cool that we got two power couples fighting it out. Couple goals here.
By all accounts, she's been taking it really seriously with the training and stuff, and I think, yeah, she did come from a different era. Like, I think, but she was one of the first people around that time who was like, no, I want to be a wrestler. I don't want to be a diva. I want to be a wrestler. But you're limited to who you're against and the amount of ring time you're being given by the company. Obviously, that's all changed. They're going to be wanting to give her a lot with the way this merchandise is moving and just the YouTube views and all that. And look, if you can get a gymnast in NXT in the Performance Center for 6 months and then be putting on pretty decent stuff on NXT, I'm sure you can have someone who wrestled for a good decade in a different era and is putting in the work can get to the level of current day stars. We've seen Trish being able to do it, right? So,
Yeah.
and that was an even different era from then. So I'm really hopeful with AJ Lee. And if she can pull it off in the ring, she could be a real like game changer for WWE in the next few months.
I can't lie and say that I am shocked a little that like she chose now to come back when, like, of course, WWE, the machine and all that. Like, she's definitely been someone like her husband, CM Punk, to be pretty vocal about things that she didn't like and doesn't like, and then comes back on a show with Brock Lesnar coming back. I just find I don't know. There's some little things that make me.
I mean, I think the fact her husband is back there changes a lot of things.
Of course, right? But then, of course, he's taking the Saudi checks now too. So I don't know. Things are different, and I'm not saying I'm mad at it because we're fans and we get to see it. But it's just like, I don't know. Maybe they could touch note on that to maybe feel a bit more connected to the fans. Instead, it's like, oh, look, I'm just back. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know.
And then finally, we've got John Cena taking on Brock Lesnar.
Yes, the main event of ESPN's debut, Wrestlepalooza, Cena, Lesnar, one more time. I don't have too much interest in this, but I will reiterate, loved Cena versus Cody too at SummerSlam. Maybe Cena's like, I fucked up this run. I need to course correct, and maybe we get something good out of this. Hopefully it's John Cena steamrolling Brock like he did at that one SummerSlam to Cena. But I don't know. I can't say my expectations are high for this one. I can't even say I'm that interested in watching Brock Lesnar wrestle. I'll just say not because of all this other stuff, just because I'm fucking over. I've been over Brock Lesnar. We all have. So it's just kind of like, okay, I guess we got to do it for the Cena retirement. But I don't know. My interest level isn't as high as a lot of other fans for this one.
It's weird. Like, Cena's put on some good stuff recently. Like his match with Sami Zayn on TV, the second Cody match was really good. But unfortunately, he's not going to be able to work that style of match against a Brock Lesnar. I also, because we've done a lot of the matches that we thought might potentially be his last match, I wonder if this is going to be a two-parter and it is Brock steamrolling Cena like at SummerSlam 2014. And then Cena's redemption arc is him getting that big win in that final match against Brock Lesnar. Because I can't really see, apart from maybe Gunther, if you want to go for that as the last match for Cena, there aren't many people that are like screaming out to me. So I think this being Lesnar's return as well, I can see it being a Lesnar win, and I could see it being in quite dominating fashion as well.
That's totally fair, and that's probably what will happen. I think that's a bit of I don't know if it's a letdown for some fans. I'm sure it is to have that as Cena's last match, but obviously the history, obviously them coming in together and all that. But I don't know. I can't say Brock, like I've been over Brock Lesnar and then all this other stuff. I'm just like, okay, I get that you would do it. It's a big draw. Your ESPN debut with John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. That's going to attract a lot of people, hopefully. So I see why they're doing it. I understand people not being super into this as well. And I totally get that. So I'm kind of just like, yeah, cool. I'll say it again. The match I'm looking forward to is Io and Steph. That's the one. That's the thing that sells me for this Wrestlepalooza, and that's happening Saturday. So that is it. I know you got a jet there, literally. Yep. So thank you everyone for listening. Patreon.com/Poisonrana to hear our show from yesterday, me rambling on about our trip, plus Poisonrana.ca. You can find details of our all oot brunch party this Saturday, plus all the other shows. We did our NXT Homecoming review and so much more. You know where to find us at Poisonrana Pod. We'll hopefully see you this Saturday before All Out, and appreciate all the frogs and friends out there. And take care of yourselves. Goodbye and be safe.
Ahoy!